Chris to go P2 in Monza, and he's now only 27 points behind the Red Bull driver. So in terms of the constructors, we got Sauber F1 team leading by 62 points over Ferrari. We got Toro Rosso in third. P4 is Red Bull, and P5 is the McLaren Honda team with Tom Hill and Maledictis. So getting ready for the start of the qualifying. And what do you reckon, Johnny? What do you think the pole lap will be?
You're kind of asking the wrong person. You're asking somebody who's very slow around this track. But I don't know. We might be looking at a mid 37, maybe mid to late 137. Is a good pole lap. Probably by the likes of ZR Mercedes. He's proven he's very quick in qualifying. I think he's had 3 or 4 pole positions.
Indeed, he's been really smashing it lately in qualifying. He's been put the hammer down since he joined F2. He showed his skills in F3, and hence why he's now racing in the Sauber team in F2. So
I think we got Wami coming out on the track early.
Yeah, we got Wami, new reserve, and he's the first one to come out on track with a Toro Rosso Ferrari. And every team is heading out on track.
First guy out is going to be Tom Killer, I think. No, it's not. It's the Toro Rosso in front, which is Calic Rist. First guy on track.
No.
Won the last time we were at a street track as well. Remember, won in Monaco. Proves he's good around these kind of tracks.
Yeah, he keeps it out of the walls, doesn't he? In Spa as well. Very demanding track, let alone heavy rain in there, and he won that as well. So we could see another masterclass by the Toro Rosso driver here under the floodlights of Singapore. But we'll see if we've got the pace right from qualifying, because obviously a very hard track to overtake at. So qualifying here is as important as likes of Monaco and Hungary. So I think everyone will be heading out on their ultra softs and try and do their 2 runs and make them count, as we see now Adna in the other Toro Rosso in Sector 1. He's not done very badly this season either. He had P5 or P4 in Italy last week. After...
He joined us in F2 in Monaco as well, don't forget.
Yeah, he joined pretty late as well. Or F2 in F1, I believe.
In Spain, yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he actually came to F1 straight away and then got promoted to F2. So he's doing very nicely in the middle tier. But let's see, I think it's going to be let's keep an eye on Calic Rist. I'll keep an eye on Calic Rist. The Toro Rosso driving in Sector 3 now. Many people starting their laps. Obviously wants very clean air here. The track's pretty long, but it's got a lot of demanding high-speed corners where you don't want dirty air at all. So Calic Rist starting his lap now, crossing the line. And into turn 1 he goes. He wants to take a lot of the outside curve there, takes a lot of the inside as one as well. The Red Bull coming out of the pit lane, that's going to be his teammate. I'm not actually sure exactly who that is.
Nicolo.
Nicolo, yeah. Nicolo is out lap. He's the only one who's still on an out lap, except Sean, who's still in the pits for some reason. For Calic Rist into the first sector, let's see what the times are looking like. It's a 27.4 by Calic Rist in the first sector. Into the tricky sector 2 chicanes. Lap data, there we go. So now we can see, I'm going to keep an eye out on the wall of Manir as well. Getting into turn 1 he is. Grangebeer, I believe he's on the flying lap as well. Yes, he is in sector 1. Let's see, 27.4 by Calic Rist, 27.6. All 2/10 slower than Calic Rist is Grangebeer. So it's not looking very good. He might have done a mistake as Grangebeer. Let's see Warlock then. He's looking to be on an out lap, I think. Yep, he's 28.8 in the first sector. So let's switch to Calic Rist yet again. No incidents so far. So walls are placed very closely to the apexes and the track limit. So I don't think I will be surprised if we saw some wings being like flying off the track. 38.3 by Calic Rist. Benchmark where we want to beat. 38.6 by Tom Killer goes P2. solo across the line to start his lap. Wome goes second with a 38.4, very close to Calacris. So decent banker from him. Alex Gillen not on the pace, 38.9, holds 6 tenths
Oh,
slower
Mercedes.
than Calacris. Mercedes moving pole, 38.3, over half a tenth quicker than Calacris.
Very nice bit with a 38.9, popping himself 5th.
Greenwich Championship leader P5 ahead of both Ferraris at the moment, but behind Calacris, who seems to be on a charge this season. The second part has been so great for him. He won in Spa, and the second place in Italy saw him up into P2 in the standings and just 27 points behind Greenwich, so he's within a shout of the title, without a doubt. And Tom Killer as well is working up after some incidents in the first part, the late first part of the season, which is Austria or Spa, and he's now just 4 points behind Calacris himself, so we are going to keep an eye out on them. Warlock, as we said, he's actually in the pits, he's in P4 in the standings, a few points behind Tom Killer actually, so really this is a crucial race for both Ferraris, and we have a yellow flag indicating in sector 2, that is Robin. Running Robin then spinning off the exit of the hairpin, very demanding traction zone there. Calacris goes quickest again with a 38.2. So they call Ross on provisional pole again. I don't think he's going to have fuel for another lap. He has aborted it and he's going to go back in the pits. Highway is not really an issue here. So I think we're going to see some one-stops from him.
Yeah, I reckon so. Super soft. Well, ultra soft, isn't it? That's the way to go, you'd have thought.
Maybe not super soft.
Maybe super soft. Yeah, some of the people that feel quite good on their tyres. I reckon we'll see a lot of that in F1. We'll see a lot of ultra soft, super soft runners.
It's going to get you quite a lot around here as well, a compound soft around Singapore. I think it's got the most corners on the calendar, so if you gain about half to 10th in every corner, that could notch up to 2 seconds per lap. So I think a super soft runner in the second stint, we're going to have to keep an eye out on him.
But then, of course, running the super soft tyres, running the softer compound will mean that they'll wear out faster. And of course, once your tyres start to get worn around a track like this, it does affect your lap times quite badly, as John is about to start his flying lap. It's fine to come out on track.
Yeah, going into the first corner, takes a lot of the curb, fourth gear, interestingly, down to third, so he's using quite a high gear for the third corner. Turn 4 now, before turn 4. Williams driver, into the sector 1 split. People coming to the pits then. 27.4, so not too bad at all from John. I think that is what Calacris did on his quick lap. Let's check. It was a 27.441 with John doing a 27.428, so it was actually quicker in fact than Calacris. I think he probably was purple in that sector, heading into chicane now and into the hairpin. So braking is very important, as it's a pretty long straight after this. Into sector 2 split now, let's see what he does. I don't actually have any benchmarks to
105.0, which I think is two tenths faster than what Calacris did on his first run. So he definitely did he was 105.2 through the middle sector, so this could be a quick lap from John. This could be enough to put in provisional pole. Just got to keep it clean through this final sector, the twisty final sector.
Yeah, indeed, 2 chicanes coming up. A very high speed last corner. It's only 1.5 tenths up on Calacris' lap, so we're looking for a 38.0 across the line. The Williams 38.1. John on provisional pole in his Williams. Very good lap by him. We're looking to beat that. Just 400s quicker than Calacris, so I think without a mistake, Mercedes, Calacris, and the likes of Tom Killer Grenadier, he can match that or even beat that. Warlock on the other side hasn't set a lap yet. He's going in the second sector, so I don't think he's going to have 2 runs in, just under 3 minutes.
This is the only lap he's got, yeah.
Yeah, second sector, people coming out for the second run, so they're all good to go. Into the hairpin now. Let's see if Warlock has to make this count. He doesn't want to be starting 14th in a track like Singapore. It's not very good. I don't think this is a very good lap by Warlock. I don't know if it's competitive. Yeah, it's not. It's not on the pace, I don't think.
He's just been invalidated as well for cutting that first part of the final sector, so his qualifying session is over and he will be starting from the back of the field, which is a disaster for Warlock because he wants to try and claw back some points in the championship race to defend his title. But starting from the back at a track like Singapore is really going to cost him.
Indeed.
As I'm keeping an eye on Wami, who's currently just started his second run. Just started his flying lap. He's got a lot of traffic in front of him though that he's going to have to try and negotiate. Calec gets out of his way quite nicely. He's got the McLaren of Maledictus in front as well. He's going to need to get out of his way. And does. 27.3 first sector from Wami. That's very quick. I think that's the fastest first sector in the day.
That's how Mercedes in sector 1 split on the second line is going to be at 27.4, so a bit slower than Wami. He's looking very nice in this session on the Mercedes in the second sector now, on the fast rebrand chicane here in Singapore.
He just about got away with the corner after the old Singapore sling. I think he just about got away with that track limits wise. He was very close. We'll see what his middle sector is.
Maybe a 105.
I think it's a 105.2, I think.
Like that, so it's pretty competitive, not bad. But I don't think it was quite purple. That time Mercedes goes extremely wide into the hairpin, and I don't think he has enough fuel for another lap. Let's see into the second sector split. It's a very good second sector. Let's see what exactly it was. 37.9. Oh wow, 37.1 on the first sector for Mercedes.
Wow, very quick. That understeer in the hairpin though looks like it might cost him a few tenths. As Wami's about to cross the line with a 38.4, which keeps him 5th at the moment. I think he did improve on his previous lap.
Yeah, he's over half a second now clear from P6. Greenwich. Calec is starting his lap with John, the 10th lap on his
Mercedes pops in a 37.9.
Wow.
First guy to break into the 1 minute 37s.
6 seconds to go for everyone. That time Mercedes has retired from the session. One man to be on the 37s. John, very nice through last corner, but I think he got invalid there, so 38.1, that's all John can manage, that's all he can do. It's P2. Let's see if anyone can lock out the front row with Zeta Mercedes, and let's see if anyone can actually beat Zeta Mercedes this time. Calec on his 3rd lap in this session, 27.2 on the first sector, so very competitive by Toro Rosso driver. Let's see what Hasman is doing. P11 in the second sector. I think he bought his lap, if I'm correct. If not, he's still going full pace. Alice Killer only P8. Tom Killer goes P5. Just beat Wame, who's gonna lap as well. So everyone's still on a flying lap. Let's see, Greenwich goes P4. Tom Killer across the line. Tom Killer goes P2 on his McLaren Honda. Very good lap by him. Not quite in the 37s. But beats John, which is enough for the front row so far. I
think Calec has just put in a very good middle sector. I think it was a 104.8 was his time across the middle sector, or a 104.9. So this looks like it could be a very competitive lap from Calec. Oh, running very wide though on the exit of the first part of the bus stop.
Actually rode the curb there, but across the line is going to go any second now. What is his lap going to be? Is it for Calec across the line? Yes, it is.
I think that's a 37.7. Wow.
Very good
right
lap.
At the last.
Calec then snatches pole in Singapore, almost 2 tenths quicker than Zeta Mercedes, who smashed the field last week in Italy. So amazing lap by Calec. He's on pole. Second is Zeta Mercedes. Third is Wame on new reserve. P4 is Tom Killer. John is in P5. Grangebeer down in P6. Nicolo just behind him in P7. Joruru in P8. Hasnan in P9. Mitchell rounds off the top 10 without Warlock, with 2 Ferraris starting outside the top 10, and specifically Warlock actually starting last.
Interesting, that Warlock, man wanting to fight to defend his title, which is slipping away from him at the moment, starting at the back of the field in Singapore.
Indeed, but as we saw with Tom Killer, we saw him slipping down from 2nd and actually very close to P1 in the standings, down to P4. and now he's back up to P3. So it's all can all happen here in F2. Many points on offer still on the table for the last 7 races, so nothing's over for anyone yet. But Warlock really needs to wake up. And I think both Ferraris really need to wake up, as Alice Killer maybe out of the top 5 by the end of the championship.
He is out of the top 5 at the moment, Alice Killer is.
P6. Hasn't to get some points from the Kiwis who's not racing this week. They're level on points, so if Hasn't scores a single point, he'll be up into P7. Shieldrop not racing, neither is Guinness, and neither is Illuminati. Neither is Swamp, so next up Maledicted, who's only P13, both in this qualifying session and in the standings.
I think the only real battle that we've got going on Drivers' Championship wise is that battle for 2nd. Maybe the battle for 5th as well. Mercedes and Alice Killer are only separated by 3 points. The positions could change over there.
Yeah, they could, but it's only 27 points up the top as well, so Greenwich are starting P6 and Calais Crisp P1. If they finish like this, Calais Crisp will get 18 points, I think. 17 points on Greenwich Beer.
Yeah, 17.
And he'll be right on 10 points heading into Malaysia. It's all to pay for in Singapore. Paul Rosso driver Calais Chris starting on pole, but with the Mercedes right behind him, pressure could get to him. This is a very crucial race for Calais Chris. Needs to build up his confidence heading to the last part of the season. Got the 2 Red Bulls lining up on the 3rd and 4th row of the grid. Greenwood and Nicolo very close to each other. Are we going to see any team orders there? I don't think so, because Greenwood is in front. But is Nicolo going to stay behind? Let's see. It's going to be in a very tight and crucial championship fight now. He's got John and Tom Killer ahead of him. I don't think he's going to have too much fun passing Tom Killer. P3 in the standings. Wome, let's see what he can do in his debut race in F2. Already P3 in the standings, looking out the 2nd row with Tom Killer. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do. The cars are lining up on the grid for the start of the Singapore Grand Prix. Getting ready then, we've got 2, got 3, 5 red light for the Singapore Grand Prix. It is lights out and the Singapore Grand Prix is underway. Calais Chris got off the line very well. He seems to be into P1, into turn 1. Zeta Mercedes is getting attacked by Wome into the turn 3. Tom Killer up into P3, then the McLaren Honda into P3. I think we've got a spinner there, Sauber in the background, if I'm not mistaken. Calais Chris still in the lead, Mercedes in P2, Tom Killer has got P3 with Wome dropping down to P4. Grimsby has now got past John somehow into P5 he goes. Further back we go Warlock into P13, Adling still in P11, Alice Killer has made his way up into P10. Tom Killer showing that he's just past Wome.
Warlock now just moved up into 12th and is side by side with Maledictus. Whoa, coming into that left-hander just in the middle sector. Holds on to position and Warlock's already come from 15th to 12th. So a good start from him. He's going to come across his teammate any minute now as well.
He just hasn't been between them. We've got yellow flag in
it's
sector
Ben.
2.
Ben in the Williams in the wall.
P14 or even last. So into the 3rd sector, Calais Chris leading by only 6/10 over Zeta Mercedes. Not too much action from the start.
Relatively clean from the drivers.
Yeah, indeed, just Benel FC spinning in the second sector. Like in Italy, only my is actually spun off the start. Chris goes a bit wide there. I think Mercedes is going to be in with a shout of a pass in the first sector. Let's see, he's very close to him. Tom Killer is a bit further back, about 1.1 seconds.
Oh, sorry, Mike, but Alice Killer's just made a launch up the inside of Mitchell into turn 1 and moves up into 9th place. Claims an extra point at the moment, and he's right on the back of Gronosbeer's teammate Nicolo as well. Might try and make a move into the next corner into turn 6, I think it is.
Well, great exit though from Alice Killer. He's about 3 tenths behind Nicolo, so go back in the battle for the lead. That's on Mercedes and Chris very early on in the race, but they already want to have a fight. Chris seems to be missing some apexes. Maybe the pressure is going into him already. But let's see, yeah, really not many overtakes happening into the first couple of laps. This is not something we are used to seeing in F2.
It's not an easy track to overtake round though, is it? Singapore.
No.
Street track, walls everywhere. There are a few straights, but
we could see though an overtake in the third sector by Warlock, who's right behind Hasnain. Let's see, looks to the inside, doesn't go for it. Hasnain goes extremely wide, but almost hits the wall. I think in fact he did touch it. Warlock right behind him. I don't think he's gonna have enough speed to go for a move there. Going to the third sector, he's gonna have a lot of dirt here to deal with. His teammate Alice Killer right behind Nicolo. I don't think Nicolo's going to be able to hang on in that position. Oh, Tom Killer's actually right behind Mercedes. I think Mercedes must have made a mistake. Coming to that last corner, he was right behind him. Grangeby says the quickest lap of the race, so he's moving quicker than Chris with a lot of dirty air from 3 cars ahead of him. Wome is right behind Tom Killer, so Battle of P2 is heating up with over 4 cars in the space of like 2 seconds, so we've got a nice battle on our hands right now. Mitchell, Hasnain are swapping position into turn 4, Hasnain around the outside, and he's into the points paint position. Warlock right behind Mitchell there, gets this slip from Hasnain down the inside, goes Warlock, sorry. Mitchell gets caught up on the exit curb, so goes Hasnain actually, so Warlock right behind Hasnain into P11 he goes. Hasnain struggling a bit there in the second sector. Warlock losing the back end almost into the wall.
Running very light on fuel, Warlock as well, noticeably. He's only got 7.7 of a lap up on fuel, so he's running very light here. Bit of an interesting decision.
To any gear as well. Tom Killer, for some reason. They're probably going to have to manage the fuel quite a bit towards the end of the race.
Ooh, Alice Killer had a look at the inside of Nicolo into the start of the third sector. He's just sitting behind him now. He's going to get the DRS down the pit straight. Unless he decides to make a move here. No, he's going to sit behind and get the DRS down the pit straight.
Penalties are going to be crucial this race, with Zeta Mercedes setting the quickest lap.
Whoa, very wide through the final corner from Alice Killer.
Yeah, very wide through there, lose a bit of time to Nicolo. John's right on the gearbox of Renishbeer. He's right behind Wome. So Tom Killer.
Mercedes right on the back of Calec Rist as well, only 2 tenths between them. For the lead of the race. Mercedes going to get a good run with DRS. It's not close enough to make the move though. He's going to sit behind him.
Calec Rist feeling the pressure in the second sector. Doesn't need to make doesn't have to make a mistake here. He's not making a mistake here. Now we're posting the lead. People need to keep it within the wide lines. Not get a penalty, as the gaps are going to be very close towards the end of the race.
Be interesting to see what strategies everybody does as well. Who's going to go for the softs, who's going to go for the supers. As I think that was a Mercedes of Wome wide, yep.
Sorry, they're ready to be up into P4. Wome moves down to P5, and I think John is going to go for a move as well into the third sector. Wome down the inside of Grenishbeer, pushes Grenishbeer off, and now the Williams is going to try and go down the inside. He didn't know he's not. P4 has a look, but going to be right behind Wame, and now the Haas of Doruru gets involved, so a four-way battle for P4 here. Very tight between them. Grenadier tried to go for a move after Wame had a very weird line in the hairpin. So he's now going to pick up the DRS. Let's see if he can do anything coming into it. Nicolo has already picked up a 3-second penalty. He's now in P9. He's coming into the pits actually.
That might have been out of frustration of losing a position to Alice Kidder. I don't know whether he got damage as a result of Alice Kidder overtaking him, but it's highly possible. This is very early to be making a pit stop on lap 5.
So close to Calicris there, Johnny. He's right on him, just 2 tenths separating them. Zeta Mercedes has DRS. Calicris is lagging slightly.
Right
Zeta
in the
Mercedes
gearbox.
is going to go for a move. Lap 6 around the outside. Zeta Mercedes is going to go. Calicris defends it. Zeta Mercedes gets pushed off the track there. Has to correct it on the exit. But Zeta Mercedes one opportunity and he went for it around the outside, got pushed off the track there. I don't know if that's legal or not. Calicris didn't give him enough space, but I'm sure Zeta Mercedes is going to have more opportunities to lunge it up the inside.
Oh yeah, there's 2 laps in a row now. He's been right behind Calicris through that exact same period of track down the main straight. DRS open.
And the DRS going to be a big factor in this race. And fresher tyres, and won't be up for the super softs, will be much quicker than the soft runners on the start of their stint. So we have to keep an eye on the strategies and the penalties. Zeta Mercedes though doesn't seem to be losing as much time as you'd think in the TA. Is right on Calicris on the demanding first sector with a lot of twisty corners. Into the last corner then, first DRS zone of the track. Can activate it right now. He's actually lost a bit of time to Calicris, but he's got another 26 laps to try and pass him. So Calicris just has to stay ahead. Doesn't if he doesn't make a mistake, then he's going to be ahead. He needs to yeah, he's got enough fuel. But Zeta Mercedes got 3 laps of fuel. Calicris has got 1.6. So again, Calicris running relatively low on fuel. And as long as he keeps it within the wide lines, I think at least going to be a big improvement over Italy. Penn has got a penalty. He's 20 seconds behind Nicolo. Who's a further 25 behind the next pair, which is Maledictus and Robin, actually very close to each other. Robin on the soft is actually pressurizing Maledictus on the future soft, so I wonder if Maledictus got some sort of damage. I don't think he has. Let's see then into the hairpin. 1-8 doesn't leave the door open to the ring here. Gaps are starting to be created. Not much action overtakes.
But the thing is with these gaps, there is the gaps, but then there's battles either side of the gaps, like the battle for 4th between Wami, Gronosbeer and John, then there's Joruru and Alice Killer going at it for 7th, Hasnain and Warlock for 9th, Maledictus and Robin for 12th. There are cars close to each other on track, but then there are gaps between these groups of cars. So you have yellow flag in sector 2. Not quite sure what's happened there. It is Nicolo in the wall at the Singapore Sling, I think. Well, no, it's just after the Singapore Sling, isn't it? It's that flat out corner before the hairpin.
One of Marcus Ericsson crashed in this year's Grand Prix actually. He was facing the right way. Okay, I thought he was facing the wrong way.
Oh, Warlock's just found his way past Hasnain, sorry. Into turn 3. Just saw the end of that, but Warlock squeezed himself into 9th place, overtaking Hasnain. Those super soft tyres really seem to be working for Warlock at the moment.
Oh, and Alice Killer, Joruru and Alice Killer side by side into turn 6. Alice Killer down the inside, Joruru off the track, and I think Alice Killer is up into P7. Very clean move there. So the Ferraris are making their way through the field very nicely indeed. Not incidents as we saw in Italy. They put their head down and they are passing people left, right and centre. They need to go closer to Grenadier and get points on him.
They also need to get some points on Mercedes as well, on the Sauber team.
He's pretty far up the field though, he's into P2. They got many cars between them and him. Gonna have to pass the train of Greenwich Beer, Wome and John, which is hard itself. But that time Mercedes kind of in an awkward position, 5 tenths behind Calacris, not really a gap to go for a move or even think about it. Actually, it's way too far back. You just need to have a very clean lap, very fast lap, put it up into rich mix and try and go all at it and try and go right behind Calacris. And actually, he's got a very nice move. Wome's out of the race into the third sector. The Mercedes has lost the front right tyre and left tyre there.
Oh, battle for the lead, battle for the lead. Mercedes right on the back of Calacris coming into turn 4.
Mercedes right
Gonna
behind
have the DRS as well here. This is a perfect opportunity for Mercedes to get the move done.
Up into rich mix for both of them. Mercedes gonna go around the outside again. Down to standard around the outside. He's gonna make the move done. Very late on the brakes. Calacris squeezes him out yet again. And Calacris, copy from a couple of laps ago, defends P1. Mercedes so close to him. Calacris seems to be wearing his tyres pretty a lot in this stint. Wome has retired from the session after an amazing qualifying in P3, running in P4 as well, holding up Greenwich and John. He's now retired and leaves Greenwich open to chase the podium runners. So Alice Giller right behind, he's 8 seconds behind John.
Eight? It's 2.
8. It says 8.
2.4.
It says 8.4. Okay, well, that's weird. Warlock, apparently 10 seconds behind. Alice Giller is about 1.9.
No, you've got it as gap to leader, I think.
Oh, Mercedes right behind Calacris, down the inside into the last corner.
Oh, this is a brave overtake.
Contact between the two of them. Calacris
oh,
gets pushed off the
Calacris.
track. Calacris forces the hand up in frustration into the first corner. Mercedes, I think, has got the lead of this race. Calacris around the outside. Let's see if he can hold it around there. No, I don't think he can. Zeta Mercedes into the lead of this race. Tom Kill and Grangeby are pitted. Excitement in the lead. Zeta Mercedes actually got a penalty here. Very crucial mistake by Zeta Mercedes. But I think he's got the pace to pull away. Well, we're going to see the pit stop pace. If Calacris can get past him. Is Calacris better at following cars? Is his pace going to improve following Zeta Mercedes? We're going to have to wait and see. But I think the main problem with Calacris is his tyres are wearing out way too much. Mercedes is in control of this race right now. That's a bit annoying, my gap starts glitched. Oh no, it's the gap to the leader.
That's what I was thinking, I thought you had it set to gap to leader.
Hasning is very wide there in the second sector. These tyres seem shredded as well, to be honest. Warlock on super soft, not going to have a problem to... oh, Mitchell's
made a mistake.
Down P9. Yeah, he's facing the barriers there. This Singapore sling.
Recovered himself back, but Tom Killer right behind him now. Yeah, what a brave overtake that was from Zeta Mercedes for the lead. Trying to force his way through the final corner. Staying side by side with him all the way through the first 3 corners and then finally getting past. It was very brave stuff. Good racing from both of them to keep it clean as well, to keep out the barriers. Calacris almost losing it on the exit of the final corner. Wow. Unbelievable stuff. Proves how much pace that Mercedes had in comparison to Calacris. Then he's pulled away a 1.5 seconds in a lap.
John and Alice Geller in the pit. Warlock surprisingly into P3. Robin in P5. Hasning up into P4. Almost 2 seconds behind Calacris, behind the Mercedes. Let's see where Alice Geller and John come out in comparison to...
They're going to come out just in front of Joe Ruru, I think.
Yeah, John's right behind Greenwich almost. 3 seconds behind him. I think Alice Geller is right behind Joe Ruru actually. That's not very good for him. He needs to get past him. He might have DRS straight off the bat here. But if he's going to pass him, he needs a good exit, good apex speed. Mitchell in the pit, he's going to open the DRS. Let's see Alice Geller right behind Joe Ruru Into turn 6 he goes. He's going to go down the inside. He has a look, but he's not quite close enough to dive from him. But right behind him now, down the inside he's going to go. He's going to have a look, but breaks very early for that corner. So Jaruru stays in P9. Let's see what the leaders do in terms of pit stop. Sets on Mercedes, still out on track, lap 10. These guys are not going to be feeling very well here. Warlock though, on the other hand, these guys are absolutely fine. He's going to be pitting about 10 laps or 9 laps. So for a long stint. Ooh, Calicres is struggling so much. He has to pit this lap. He doesn't. Calicres is not pitting.
Even though he's losing almost 2 seconds a lap on ZR Mercedes in front.
Indeed, he was 1.7 the last lap, 1.5. Now it's 2.8. So Calicres.
Ooh, Alice Killer and Joe Ruru getting very, very close on track through the final sector. I thought Alice Killer was going to try and go for a little switchback move on the inside of one of the corners, but didn't. Stayed behind him as Tom Killer's just put in the fastest lap of the race with a 141.5, then beaten by Grown Beer with a 141.2. Both drivers have just pitted on fresh Ultra Softs as well. That's interesting. Means they're two stopping in this race. Very interesting strategy indeed from the championship leader in particular.
A few stoppers from the Tom Killer.
Probably just playing it safe. Doesn't want to try and stretch his tyres and make a mistake on very, very worn tyres at the end of the race.
Calicres has been doing good this lap, only 3 seconds the gap between him and the Mercedes. Where he really needs to pit this lap. If you see how much he was struggling on the last sector, Alice Killer meanwhile was still right behind Zoruru. He needs to get away past because John Grimsby and Tom Killer are already pulling away quite a lot. Sector 1, got yellow flags. Nice. Ben? Stop him? Ben's retired, Ben's lost the wheel. So Ben is out of this session, nothing came up on the screen, so Alice Killer finally gets past Ruru for P9 into the third sector. Tom Killer meanwhile, catching up to Robin. I think it's going to be inevitable. He's going to pass him. Tom Killer right now is the second fastest man on the track after Grimsby. Robin, one of the slowest one I would imagine. He's the only one soft except Mitchell. So Robin's lapping quite slowly here. I don't think he's going to hold up Tom Killer too much. Calicres and ZR Mercedes, he'll have him pitted lap 12 out of 31. How long do you want to take the Ultra Softs?
Oh, Alice Killer did find a way around Joe Ruru, by the way, coming through the final corner, but they're still side by side, wheel banging into turn 2 and 3. Joe Ruru tried his best to hold on to 9th here. Alice Killer's been forced a little bit wide. They're still side by side coming into 4. Alice Killer has the advantage of the inside line, but I think they're still side by side coming up the straight. Yes, they are. Side by side for the entirety of the first sector. No, Joe Ruru just pulls in behind, but is he going to try and launch it up the inside into turn 6? No, he's just going to sit behind him and accept that he's lost that position to Alice Killer. I think I've just unspectated them as Alice Killer found a way past. I was watching them for the last lap and a half or so. Seems a little bit sod's law at the moment. I click off them, an overtake happens. It's about the only thing going on track at the moment as well. Gap starting to form between everybody. The next biggest gap is 1.5 seconds between Robin and Tom Killer and between Robin and Grown Beer.
Mercedes stays out for another lap. With Calicres coming into the pits finally, 5.4 the gap now. Calicres into the pits for what I would imagine is going to be the super soft tyre. Stretching these ultra soft so long has to have a reason. Calicres into the pits, then let's see what the pound's going to be the super. It is the super softs.
Well, he's going to come out of the pits as well. That's a good point.
Come out in P8.
Yeah, we'll come out just in front of Alice Killer and Joe Ruru, I think.
Yeah, easily. Alice Killer just in turn 1 now. Calicres in the pits. Pretty close to each other, to be honest. Alice Killer's caught up quite a lot if you think about it. Calicres net P2. Alice Killer was P6, so Gap between them is 1.6 now. It's going to be interesting to see when Mercedes comes out and how much of an undercut Alex Chris is going to get. Oh, Mercedes, big slide. Smashing the wall there. Crashing into the barrier. Didn't lose any front wing, I don't think. But that was very, very... what's the word?
Tense.
Tense.
Squeaky bum time.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of.
Buttocks were clenching in that cockpit of the Sauber there. He almost did what I did in Monza and just lost it by himself. Oh, again back end sliding out on ZR Mercedes coming through the final sector. He's got to pit this lap now. Yes, he does. ZR Mercedes finally dives into the pits on lap 13. For what would be a set of super soft tyres.
That's our Mercedes penalty and a warning. Warlock penalty and 2 warnings.
That's Warlock. From starting at the back, Warlock is now leading the race on track as ZR Mercedes has pitted the soft tyres. That's a very interesting decision. Considering he took his starting ultra softs 13 laps, the fact that he's gone for the softs is very unusual. As he's coming out of the pits, yeah, John and Robin.
Sean up into P4, Robin down to P5. You can see he's struggling on the soft. Is Robin. Set up Mercedes, the other soft runner right behind him.
Oh, the undercut has really worked for Cadic Wrist there. Look at that gap, it's only 2 seconds.
Now I think Cadic Wrist already struggling with fuel, 0.7 in the tank, 1.8 for ZR Mercedes, so it's about the same. But Mercedes on the soft compound, so that blew me away, to be honest. Stayed out 14 laps, 13 on the ultra soft. Now gone, he could do the seconds here on ultra softs if he stretched it out, and he's actually pitted softs. Alex has retired from the session. That's very unfortunate for him. He's facing that has to be the wrong way. That has facing the wrong way on the 4th last corner.
Yeah, he's definitely facing backwards.
Yeah, retiring in Italy and retiring in Singapore as well. It's not going great for him. Ruru, very close to Alex Killer. He's keeping intact with his Ferrari. Mercedes, I think he's gonna find a way past very soon. I don't think he wants to spend too much time behind Robin, as Calequist is now 9 tenths behind him. It's Italy all over again. Mercedes pitting and Calequist on the softer compound catching up very quickly, and a slower car right ahead of them, so it's basically Monza all over again. ZR Mercedes goes very close to Robin. Calequist fastest lap of... oh god. Oh no.
Double voice crack, Mike. Calequist fastest lap of the race, right behind Mercedes now, just 4 tenths of a second, 3 tenths of a second now. So coming into the ERL, so Mercedes is making the move on Robin into turn 4. Side by side, he's going to want to try and put that Renault between himself and Calequist, but hasn't done so.
Calequist right behind them, just a 10 between them, 3 cars.
This is going to be 3 wide coming into turn 6. I think it is. No, Mercedes just in front, and Robin has managed to squeeze himself in front of Calequist.
Oh, Calequist pushes Robin off the track, and he's lost a bit of his front wing, I think. And that's going to cost Calequist a victory, because I think he might have a penalty after that. He spun Robin into turn 7 there. Do you see that?
I didn't see it. I think I caught it. I think it was just at the back of the shot, because I was spectating ZR Mercedes and we got a helicopter cam.
Yeah, he tagged Robin's rear right, and I was very impatient, if you say so, from Calequist. 4.4 now the gap to ZR Mercedes, and he's lost over 4 seconds then. You can see he's struggling so much with fuel. He's burned 0.3 in 1 lap, so this could be game over for Calequist, and this could be another victory for ZR Mercedes, but still 16 laps to go. Let's not call things too early. Warlock in the pits pretty early, if I remember correctly.
Warlock, I can't remember.
15 laps.
That is quite an early pit stop off the super softs. 50. Well, he's done 15 laps on the super, so he can take these 16. Unless he's planning on 2-stopping, which looks like it might be the case.
Oh, he's struggling with fuel as well. 0.19 on the tank. He's going to have to conserve. He's not looking very good. His Warlock, so Rurugu is very close to the wall on the exit of turn 4. And the only close battle we got right now is John and Greenwich Beer, because I don't think Rurugu is going to have the tyres to pass Alice Killer, although he's staying with him, interestingly. I'm going to keep an eye out on Greenwich Beer and John. John on the super soft, is he? I think he is.
Who?
John.
Yeah, John's on the supers, yeah.
Alice Killer with a penalty, but don't forget Zeta Mercedes got an extra penalty from Calacris, so 5 seconds between them. Calacris has actually lost a bit of time as he has to conserve a bit of fuel. 1.5 for Zeta Mercedes. John right behind Greenwich Beer. Let's see. Greenwich Beer on the ultra soft tyre seems to be struggling.
Diving into the pits.
Wow. What battery could have had that? Greenwich Beer pulled off into the pits. What tyres is he going to fit on?
He'll be the super soft because he's already been on 2 sets of ultras.
Yep. Right. Super soft for the Red Bull. Calacris moves up into P4.
Oh, he's going to rejoin some way back, I think. He's going to rejoin behind Warlock Manir, I think, here. He does indeed. And behind Hasnain, so he's going to rejoin in 10th place, Grown Eyes Beer. Strategy could well be killing his race here. He doesn't have to pit any more times, and I don't think many of the cars in front have to pit again. Apart from maybe Robin.
Well, Tom Kin and John too. So Zeta Mercedes in the lead there. Calacris in second. Maybe Alice Killer actually pitted. So Alice Killer looking very good for a podium here. Out of nowhere, was in P6 and somehow found himself at a 1A as he retired. Greenwich Beer as he's actually bottled the strategy, in my opinion. Calacris, Adnan, and Robin very close to the walls there.
Warlock right behind Robin.
Warlock's right behind Robin, actually. Jesus, that was very close. Alice Killer losing some time for Joruru again. Warlock's driver apparently raised his hand in frustration when he couldn't collide with anyone.
Lovely. Oh, Michael has disconnected from the party. What a lovely environment that is. I've got my own for a little bit as Warlock is behind Robin 8F, the Renault. Oh, they've made contact coming out of the bus stop section. Robin's in the wall. I think Warlock, he has some damage. Doesn't look like he does, but Robin definitely does. Half a front wing for Robin. That's his race over and done with. And Warlock's lost time as well on Hasnain, so Hasnain's been allowed to catch up behind the back of Warlock. You missed absolute drama, Michael.
Oh no, what did I miss?
You missed Warlock and Robin making contact in the final sector.
Did anyone crash?
Robin's in the wall with half a front wing and is at to pit. I think Warlock got away unscathed by the looks of it. But he is close to being put under pressure by Hasnain now.
Well, I don't know why I got lagged out.
Yeah, that was really random. You weren't lagging in party at all and then you just disappear.
Yeah. Right, so I'm back in the session. Don't worry, lads.
Let me know when you're back spectating because I need to nip to the loo.
Yeah. Around here.
Sweet, sweet. Back in a sec.
Right, so we got Tom Killer and John still having to pay. Let's check everyone's pit stops. Everyone's done 1 except Greenwich Beer's done 2. We got some yellow flags again. And that could be from the left the session. Let's see. Still got their front wings intact. Tom Killer, is he gonna pit this lap? He's gonna have to pit for super soft, so I don't see why he's not pitting. There we go. Tom Killer in the pits for the second time in this race. He's going to pit on the super soft tyre with John now in the lead. He's now the one who has to make a pit stop, and then the order is going to be how it should be. So Tom Killer, super soft tyre for him. Moves Caliquist up into P3 and ZR Mercedes in P2. Warlock has now got a penalty. That's going to prove very crucial to the battle for the top 5. As he's going to be very closely chased by Hasnain and Tom Killer.
Right, did I miss anything?
Warlock got a penalty and Tom Killer's pitted for the super soft tyre, leaving John in the lead.
Okie doke. Is he still on that starting set of tyres? No, John has pitted. I don't know what lap he pitted on.
Yeah, everyone pitted. I reckon John is going to the end.
What lap did he pit?
He pitted in lap 10.
It's risky, but it's definitely doable.
John hasn't got a penalty. Mercedes
21 laps on a set of supersofts is a long time to go.
Oh, sorry, John has a penalty.
Yeah, he picked one up about 7-8 laps ago, I think.
Yeah. I do think it's doable in my opinion, but he's going to lose the lead by ZR Mercedes any moment now because Mercedes lapping obviously way quicker than him. And the only other battle we got, I think we're going to have to keep an eye out on the Tom Killer, who's just pitted for fresh super softs. He's right behind Ace Hasnain, and then he's got a 2.4 gap to Warlock, who's closing up on the fight for P4 between his teammate and Giroux. So this could get very tense going towards the end of the race. We've got 6 cars within a shout of getting a P4 here. We've got Alice Killer, Giroux themselves have been in the battle for over 10 laps. Warlock closing up on them on fresh rubber. Hasnain in P7. I don't know who's going to close up actually, but we've got Tom Killer, who's on a charge on the fresh rubber, ready to pass Hasnain and then close up on Warlock, Giroux and Alice Killer. So we still get interesting towards the end. 1.3 the gap between Mercedes and John. Mitchell has picked up a 3-second time penalty to add up to his race time. Giroux they are sort of very close to Alice Killer on the second sector. Alice seems to be struggling a bit here. And takes a very weird line through the chicane. Giroux very close to the wall. He's lost a bit of his front wing, and I think Warlock still has his full front wing. But Warlock within 5 laps has been in 2 incidents, with Giroux smashing his front wing in front of him. Warlock's gonna have a look.
Very late lunge that was from Warlock.
Indeed. Tom Killer apparently 66,000 behind Hasnain. But Warlock still behind Giroux. He needs to get past. I think Giroux is going to pitch anyway this lap. You cannot be in Singapore with red damage and half a wing. That would be suicidal. Warlock down the inside. This is going to be an easy path for him. Giroux. Is he going to pit? No, he's not. That's a very bad mistake in my opinion. You can see there.
Whoa!
He goes extremely wide. He's not going to survive this level of damage. No one would. Tom Killer is still stuck behind Hasnain. These two are easily going to pass Giroux. Just a bit of a silly mistake not to pit there from Giroux. Just trying to find the right word. But yeah, he's going to lose all the positions now, and he's going to have to pit, which is probably going to move him down outside the top 10.
I reckon it'll put him behind. It might put him in front or behind Mitchell. I reckon behind Mitchell.
Tom Killer down the inside of Hasnain. Hasnain and Tom Killer side by side. McLaren around the outside of Hasnain. Giroux right in front of them, seeing them battle. Tom Killer up into P7. Giroux right in front of him. He's going to get past him in this sector. He's right behind him, 2 tenths between them. Giroux with half a wing. Tom Killer on fresh rubber and a full front wing. He's going to be way quicker than him. He doesn't want to lose too much time behind him. He's going to go down the inside, isn't he? On the hairpin.
Oh, Hasnain's lost part of his wing.
Oh,
Hasnain's hit the back of Tom Killer. Yeah, he hit the back of Tom Killer in the braking zone to the hairpin, and that's now putting him under pressure from Grown Ice Beer. Ronald's been
Well,
lunging up the
down
inside.
the inside of outside 9 into P8. Grimsby goes, and now Tom Killer right behind Doruru as well. Let's see. Doruru still in P6 somehow, and he sees 3 cars behind him on a charge, especially Tom Killer on the fresh shooter. So look at that. Grimsby and Tom Killer very close to each other. Tom Killer doesn't want to lose a position to the Red Bull driver. Doruru feeling the pressure here. He's going to pitch.
Doruru has pitted.
And the Haas is into the pit for a fresh set of water softs. Tom Killer crossing the line with Grimsby right behind him. Alice Killer right behind Warlock. It's going to be a Ferrari duo battle here. Mercedes and John very close to each other. John is not pitting. We're going to have to keep an eye out on the battle of P4, 6 and 1. 5 tenths between the top 2. Warlock and Alice Killer very close to each other. I think Warlock just got past Alice Killer because Alice Killer was on way more worn super softs. Warlock on fresh water, so Warlock's going to charge for the podium here, perhaps. Mercedes and John very close to each other, 4 tenths between them. Doruru has exited in P9 as Mitchell is actually going to pit. With Robin right behind him, 2.5 tenths behind the top 2, behind Mercedes' John. 8 laps to go, and we're going to see a battle for the win here. Both of them with a penalty, very close to the wall goes Zeta Mercedes. So excited for this battle, if I'm honest. I don't think we've seen Mercedes battle it out for the win too many times. We've seen him and Kiwis battle it out in Austria, with Kiwis retiring. But can Zeta Mercedes come out on top in a tense battle for the lead here? Zeta Mercedes pulled to the outside, John on the inside. John stays in P1 for the time being, for Cindy coming out of the pits, gonna let him through.
That was
very
Mitchell.
nicely there. DRS open for Zeta Mercedes. Let's see, no other real close battles. John moves to the inside to protect the lead of the race. Going to the inside, Mercedes breaks very late there. I'm going to save my voice for later, so I'm not shouting.
Fair enough, you know this battle's going to get quite intense.
Yeah, this could go right to the end, go 8 more laps, and John is clearly not going to pit, so 2 tenths between them. Into the hairpin they go. John brakes very early again and protects the inside line again.
So one thing that Mercedes has got to be careful of is that John does do that. He has a habit of...
Raining!
It is, yeah, I've just noticed that. It's just started raining.
Wow! Rain, it's coming down here, and I think Mercedes got a DRS failure, if I'm honest, because he wasn't opening the DRS on the back straight, and look at that, the rain is already starting to be more heavy. I think it's already light rain. It's going to be intermediate the next lap.
This could really spice things up.
Wow. Who expected that rain in Singapore? We did see that this season, but it's extremely rare, to be honest. So right behind them is Mercedes. Pulls to the outside, gets again. It's going to be great later. Around the outside, Mercedes goes around the outside. He's going to stick it in there to Sal, but still around the outside into the lead of this race.
There's contact as they exit turn 3.
John down to P2. Mercedes into P1. John's going to get a better exit. And I don't even, I think that's why, no, because John's got DRS now. And he's going to close up on Zeta Mercedes. He's going to go for a move around the outside. He's going to turn to the inside. Is he? No, he's not. Zeta Mercedes protects the inside line. Tom Killer up into P5. Alex Killer and Tom Killer at it for P5. Look at that. The two Ferrari
Belgians.
and the McLaren driver at it. Look at that. The traction is just not there for Alex Killer on the worn super soft tyres. Everyone's going to have to pit though. Tom Killer right behind Alice Killer is now going to move up into P5 around the outside.
Contact!
Picks up a penalty. Contact
That has caused complete carnage. All 3 Belgians.
He's round there. Rennisby, Alice Killer and Tom Killer. The 3 Belgians all in a crash. Who would have thought that? Dramatic stuff here in Marina Bay. Rennisby up into P5. Calequist is in P3. And Warlock is in P4. Look at everyone struggling. I think the ultra soft runners are going to struggle in these conditions. ZR Mercedes already a second in front of Jean.
I'm saying these track conditions, ZR Mercedes is in the best position, being on the soft tyres. They always say that when it starts to rain, being on the hardest dry compound is the best for you. As John picks up a second penalty.
John has picked up another penalty in the meantime, with Chris not having a single warning, I don't think yet.
Yeah, they're diving in for intermediates. Mercedes is in as well.
It's Mercedes in the pits as well. Everyone's going to come into the pits then. Interesting. It does seem that the traction is not there, the grip is not there. Completely wrecked right now by the turn of events here, by the rain. Yeah, everyone's on intermediates.
Wow, this is going to give us a nice 8 lap stint on the intermediate, 7 lap stint, on the intermediate tyres. I think everybody's going to be flying in. Yeah, Grow Nice Beer pits as well, as does Tom Killer, Alice Killer. Everybody's diving in for intermediate tyres. Mitchell made the brave move a lap earlier than everybody else, I think. Or no, it's just Mitchell's a lap down. Going to be in a position changing the pits. I reckon Alice Killer could be in trouble here in terms of being leapfrogged by other cars because of him, of course, having to change his front wing and being stuck behind his teammate Warlock in the pit lane as well. Hasnain also changing his front wing.
Yeah, Hasnain and Alice Killer change of front wing, going to leave them behind. With Tom Killer and Grenadier not too close to each other. Warlock another 6 seconds ahead, 15 seconds ahead of him is Chris, who is 5 behind John. So I'm still going to keep an eye out for the battle of the lead. I still think that's the most close and important battle we got right now. So let's check the penalties once more. Mercedes with a penalty and 2 warnings. John with penalty, 2 penalties. Alaquist with 1 warning. Warlock with 2 penalties, and Grenadier with a 1 warning as well.
Nikita's just put in the chat, it was like Massa Hamilton 2011. Yeah. I believe that was with the Belgians making contact into turn 4, or turn 6, sorry.
Yeah.
But it also meant that Grow Nice Beer was caught up in that as well. I don't know whether Grow Nice Beer got any damage. He didn't look like he did because he was pretty quick in the pits. But all the Belgians causing carnage in Singapore. I was hoping that the fact that it's raining would mean that we've got some more battles on track, but at the moment the smallest gap is 1.6 seconds between the leading pair of Mercedes and John, and then it's 2.2 seconds between Tom Killer and Grow Nice Beer.
Longest race in the calendar is going to become the longer than with the rain.
Of course. Remember in 2017, the real life race, they were pushing the 2-hour limit, weren't they?
Yeah. I think they did finish with 2 hours.
Oh, this just shows how great this game is as well. I'm just spectating John, and it's his car's on super soft tyres. Yeah, on the telemetry it says he's on inters. Calic also on super softs. Warlock's on ultra softs apparently. This game just gets to get better and better.
Taking some nice helicopter shots then by the leading pair. They're still very close to each other. No one's attacking each other, so they're very close. Closest battle we got.
I wouldn't even call it a battle if I'm honest. Well, Hasnain's lost some big ground on Alice Killer because he was 2 seconds behind a few laps ago. He's now 4.2 seconds behind, so I don't know whether he's made a mistake somewhere. But Hasnain's lost a lot of ground. John's now more than 2 seconds behind Mercedes. Mercedes is pulling away out front. It's quite frustrating that we're on this part of the race now. With only 4.5 laps to go. And we've got nobody really close to each other on track. It's just a case of hoping somebody makes a mistake in these intermediate conditions. Doesn't look like the rain's getting any heavier. It's just light rain at the moment. Look at how easy Tom Keller's taking it on the throttle there as well through turn 4. Interesting to see how easy Ace Hasnain is taking it, as he's one of the few in this tier that uses no traction. Yeah, still kicking the back end out, even on 40-50% throttle. That's how bad these conditions are and how difficult it is to drive. As Tom Killer's catching up to the back of Gronisbeer, just 1.8 seconds now. It was 2.2 last lap. The Tom Killer looks like he's getting slightly more out of the intermediate tyres than Gronisbeer. Could these two be battling on track by the end of the race? Be interesting to see. Both of them no penalties as well, so this will be an on-track battle for the for position then. Not going to have a battle room by one of them having a penalty, I hope. They've just got to keep it on the track now.
Yeah, if it ends like this, which is most probably going to happen, Alex Chris is going to finish in P3, getting 15 points. Guinevere in P5 is going to lose 5 points to Calichrist. So, heading to the next race,
22.
Yeah, between them. So, Mercedes is going to close up even more. Warlock's actually going to get a couple of points from Guinevere as well. With Alistair losing some as well. So, Alistair dropping back from the top 5. Tom Killer is stable race here. You would say if he gets past Guinevere, then he can get some points on him as well. And it would be great for Calichrist and Warlock to see that Guinevere dropping back. But we're gonna have to wait and see. This is the battle we're gonna focus on. 1.6 between them, so 2 points could be crucial in the championship. Tom Killer's not going to be anywhere near Calichrist, so in a couple of races time we're gonna know who the two championship rivals are going to be. We hope we have like 3-way scrap in the Abu Dhabi finale.
Hope we can have a case like we had in 2010. 4 drivers that could win the championship coming into the final race. That would be extraordinary.
I mean, on this race we're going to have 5 because we're going to have we have the top 4 very close to each other. Maybe Warlock dropping out a bit, but I do think he's going to be right up there on the next races and the podiums and the wins. He's only got 1 win this season, but he's so consistent, and I think he can get some points on Guinevere. Guinevere has just been pretty lucky, and he's got some 1 win, I think. So it's all to play for here in F2. It's not random like Guinevere is leading by any means, I don't mean that, but yeah. Killer right behind him. What I want to say is Guinevere is not the quickest in this tier, I don't think. You can easily
no, he's just been Mr. Consistency, hasn't he?
Yeah.
That's often what matters, though.
Yeah, he's got the most points, and everyone has to lazy cat here in this season, the second part. And I think Mercedes is doing a great job of that. Going to move very closely to P4, maybe even past Warlock. I'm going to check now. Mercedes has 99, so Warlock is 12 points ahead of him. And yeah, he would be ahead of him by 1 point. So Mercedes at this rate is going to be P4 in the standings and very, very, very close to Tom Killer. So Mercedes could be a title threat after this race, but he has to keep up his form till the end of the season. Tom Kelly doesn't seem to be catching Guinevere as much as he would like to.
No, it's only by about a 10th or 2 a lap.
Quite race today, hasn't it?
Oh no, there's been a few good little battles and overtakes here and there. We've had a few cars going side by side all the way through the first sector. That's happened on numerous occasions. We have a yellow flag in sector 2. Not sure what that's for. We will have it, but I don't see any cars off track. It's probably for Mitchell, who is currently without a front wing. Yeah, it will have been for Mitchell. Mitchell making a mistake. Already a lap down. So he's only got 2 more a lap and a bit left of his race. Really struggling on those intermediates. I think it's the 2nd time he's been in the barriers in this race, maybe even 3rd. He's decided to stay out. That seems very strange considering he has no front wing. Even though there's only 1 lap to go, I'd still pit and change that wing. It's not going to cost him any positions as he is at the moment last. As Warlock has just picked up a corner cutting penalty for the final corner.
That could be crucial. Mitchell's got a penalty as well. Let's see now, 4 seconds between him and Guinevere. Warlock's now got 3 penalties with Guinevere not having any. So from the beginning, Guinevere would have passed Warlock. So Guinevere at this rate is going to finish ahead of Warlock. I think even Tom Keller is going to finish ahead of Warlock because Tom Keller doesn't have a penalty either. So 5 seconds between him and Warlock. And I think Warlock's going to drop down to P6 after the end of this race. We still have to keep in mind Calacrist, crash he had with Robin. That could be in the steward's office. And, could be having a penalty, probably not as big as 20 seconds, which is the gap between him and Warlock at the moment. But it seems like
remember that the stewards will, if they give a penalty, it'll have to hinder their in-race position, as there is a bit of lag there from Gronisbeer. So it might well just be something for the next race. If it's not going to hinder a position, giving him an in-race time penalty. There is a lot of lag from Gronisbeer. I'm not sure whether that's me or whether that's Gronisbeer. Looks like it's just Gronisbeer.
Robbie, you.
No, I'm spectating other people. Nobody else is lagging. It's just Gronisbeer that is lagging on my spectator count. He's not now, but he was through the middle sector. I know he still is a little bit, or is it frame rate?
Could be decent, could be frame rate, could be lag, could be anything.
That is a good point, Mike. Very good point. Anything's possible. Calacrist is only 1.7 seconds behind John as well. As we're on to the final lap of the race, I only just noticed. Again, none of these on-track battles are really close enough for anything to happen.
John's got 2 penalties, Calacrist not having any.
So John will probably lose 2nd place here. Actually, pretty much guaranteed to lose 2nd place here.
Indeed. Qatar on the 2nd sector, looking set to win another race in a row. Back-to-back victories from Monza. He's had a pretty troubled race this week as well, starting P2 and then passing Calacrist in the duration of the race. Better strategy for him, probably. Calacrist getting a bit unlucky with a super soft stint again. Gonna have to improve that for the next race, but it's gonna be another 1-2 for them. They'll be doing good. Calacrist has been doing his job. He's been doing what he needs to do. Yeah, that's get points from Guinevere. So Calacrist gonna finish P2. Guinevere most probably gonna finish P4. And that time Mercedes is definitely gonna finish in P1 through the 3rd to last corner. Mercedes is gonna win another race, another great race here in Singapore. 4th victory of the season. The fireworks are going off for the Sauber driver. Mercedes 25 points on the back. John in 3rd place after his penalties. Calacrist gets P2 and gets some very crucial points on Guinevere. Warlock around the 3rd to last corner himself. He's struggling so much on that Ferrari. He's got penalties himself, so he's going to cross the line in P4. Very good race by Warlock Manier. Not too many mistakes. Guinevere across the line. He's going to take P4. And I think Tom Keller is going to take P5 as well. So Warlock down to P6. Going to be a P6 and 7 for the Ferrari. Certainly better than Monza, but still lacking points and losing points to their championship rivals. Ace Hatton is going to finish in P8, with Robin almost a lap down in P9, and Mitchell in P10.
Yeah, just got to wait for Robin to finish his race. He's just coming into the final sector now, so we've still got another 40 odd seconds. Yeah, that was a 50-50 race, I think. That second half, that intermediate period wasn't as interesting as I thought it would be, but we had a few little battles. We had periods where there were massive gaps between cars, but then those gaps were separated by battles. There was a battle, then there was a gap, then there was another battle going on. There was people nearby to each other quite a lot, but not many overtakes going on. As Robin always loses the back end coming through the penultimate corner, and he's going to come across the line to finish in position 9.
Podium celebrations for the top 3. Mercedes celebrates another win after last week's race. The Toro Rosso of Christ on another P2 on his journey to the title. He's closing up on Greenwich Beer every race, and he's on a very good way. He's doing what he needs to do. John in T3, another podium. Very nice race from him. Consistency is key, and that's what he's doing. Many points in a couple of races. He's done 3. So here are your final results.
As Michael seems to have microphone issues again.
Oh, yeah.
It just sounded like you were moving your mic like you normally do. So only 10 finishes, technically 9, but, oh no, there was 10 because Mitchell did finish the race, albeit a lap down. So we lost Maledictus, we lost the other Williams of Ben, we lost the Williams, we lost Wami, Mitchell, not Mitchell, Nicolo, and who was the Haas that we lost? That was Joe Ruru, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Warlock is asking whether he can be in the interviews as well, by the way.
You invite them?
Am I party host? Oh, bollocks. Should not have made myself party host because I need to find them now. Yeah, do that. It's easier. Easier than me searching for their names. Thank you. There we go, they're all invited.
Don't forget to smash the thumbs up button if you've enjoyed this race. Trying our best to commentate over this exciting races. The F2 drivers are making it absolutely enjoyable for us, and we hope you enjoy the races as well. So subscribe if you're new, and stay tuned for F1 at 5 PM. And any questions you have for the top 3 plus Warlock, ask them now in the chat.
Out of the lovely 5 viewers we have at the moment. Right, we are just waiting on John if he's going to join the party. He's the only one we got left.
Well, we got a winner, Zeta Mercedes in the party, so we might as well start now. So Mercedes, your 4th race victory of the season. It was a very dramatic race, rain coming in the last 10 laps. So did you ever feel pushed by Christ or pressurized by him? Do you have the race under control?
I felt like I had the pace. even from qualifying, made a mistake in my second lap. But from the race, but from the start, felt like I had the pace. I was keeping up with him quite easily. I was just getting past to get it big enough time to actually pass him. But after a few laps, I realised it was just going to have to be something brave and something bold. So that's what I did.
You handled the race pretty well. So another win for you. You move up to P4 in the standings now, passing Warlock. So you're making your way up the ranks. So do you think you can challenge for the title, Greenwich Beer, Caliquist, and likes of that?
I think I will still need a bit of luck. Gap's still quite big. Not many races left, but I'll keep pushing. See what happens.
Nice. So Caliquist P2 after John's penalties. Hello, John, joining the party. So Caliquist, more points gained on Greenwich Beer. Very, very good indeed. So P2 still in the standings now, 22 behind Greenwich Beer. So he's looking very good for you. How did that race go? Do you think you could have taken the win? Because we saw, again, like in Monza, you came very close to Mercedes on the start of the second stint.
Maybe, but he overtook me at my pace then and got away 5 seconds, something like that. No.
Yeah, you were very close to him. In the end, got P2, fortunately, as John had 2 penalties, I think. So, John, do you think you could have challenged Mercedes or stayed ahead of him for a bit longer? Because at one point you had the same amount of penalties. So you could have won that race, instead you got P3. How did that race go for you? Yeah, the rain came very quickly indeed. And the strategy was very important. We got Warlock in the party as well. Well done, John, for your first podium. So Warlock, certainly better than Italy, but you still lose points on Greenwich Beer. Do you think you can make a comeback on the second, on the well, the Asian part of the season?
I'm not sure anymore.
I feel like you did well today, though, considering you started at the back of the field. You crossed the line 4th.
Yeah.
You just got to try and get that. Make sure you don't bottle those qualifying laps, really, don't you? Because that's where you're losing a lot of your chances in the race.
Yeah, I was on quite a good lap, but yeah, I took and I got an exit. I certainly instantly got an invalidated lap time. I don't know how.
I think I was watching at the time you did it as well.
Yeah. It is just stupid. I also got it 4 or 5 times in the race that on an exit I got a penalty. So I got 6 seconds worth of penalties that doesn't really matter actually for me.
Yeah, penalties play a big part of this race, but not bad. P6. Got some points in the bag. You've actually dropped to P5 after Mercedes is 1 point ahead of you now. So P5
No,
for
he's
you,
5
P6
points
for
ahead.
your teammates. How? Oh yeah.
I've just updated the standings. Mercedes is 5 points ahead of Warlock.
Yeah, because Warlock dropped to P6. I forgot about that. So yeah, kind of spreading out a bit in the top 4, but still very close. Caliquist gets some points on Greenwich Beer, which is very nice to see. We've got a really
Yeah.
close battle up the top. So good luck to every one of you in the next race. We'll see you in 1 week's time for the Malaysian, I believe, Grand Prix.
It will be Malaysia, yep.
So
Yeah,
yeah, it is. So see you then. Stay tuned for F1 at 5 p.m. just over an hour's time. I'm gonna see you then. So from joining me, goodbye.
See you later.